A Lakers trade is imminent as following the signing of Marcus Smart. And now today, the wave of Shake Milton. A Lakers trade is incoming as multiple new reports have dropped, revealing some huge information surrounding Rob Pelinka's next move. But not only that, new reports have dropped showing one player in particular that has fans fired up. We're going to dive into exactly who that is, discuss what this means going forward as more moves are incoming and more moves are imminent. But before getting into it all, folks, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support has truly been unbelievable. You've been absolute beasts of the support. So make sure to continue hitting that subscribe button. Folks, a lot to go over today. Obviously, it's been a crazy 24 hours. The Lakers have signed Marcus Smart. Now, technically, of course, the full intent is to sign Marcus Smart. They have to make room. They've started by, of course, waiving Shake Milton. But more moves are on the horizon because they have to be. And a new report has dropped with some new information. But let's start with this one here. And this is from Jake Weinbach. So the Lakers need to make another move, whether that would be waiving a player or a trade to clear the money for Marcus Smart. And Weinbach thinks that despite LA needing another move, they would prefer to keep Jordan Goodwin. And of course, if you missed my video earlier today, feel free to check that one out after you watch this one in its entirety. Basically, it goes on to say, essentially what the situation the Lakers are in right now is you either need to make a trade to open up space, the cap, or open up, of course, the biannual exception fully, or you just let go of Jordan Goodwin and waive him. However, a new scenario has entered the playing field now, and you can see this here. I'm not sure the extent of this possibility, but PJ Washington would be the ideal fit for the Lakers. It's unclear if he's available. Reports have revealed that he is, reportedly available, and the Mavs are willing to, make moves here. But the Lakers are in the market for a 3-and-D wing. There's existing chemistry with Doncic, and of course, it would make a lot of sense. And from Washington's perspective, they're sitting on a $14.1 million expiring contract and will become extension eligible at the end of August. Of course, PJ Washington, but if he's unable to reach a long-term deal, the versatile impact player could become a high-level target for the Lakers next summer. So this is an interesting name in PJ Washington. And of course, I've been talking a lot on the channel specifically about Andrew Wiggins and how it would make even more sense now. After the Marcus Smart signing, it makes more sense than ever for them to use the assets that they have saved by having buyout guys instead of actually making a trade and using those assets to make a trade for a high-level wing. Now, is PJ Washington the answer? That's a question that, I'm curious to see what you guys think about it. He's a very unique player. He's a very solid, he turned into a very solid defender in his time in Dallas, especially when compared to his time in Charlotte. And he is very, very solid, especially given the fact that, the Lakers need I would much prefer Andrew Wiggins, to be clear. I definitely prefer a guy like Herb Jones. But if you're kind of stuck at the point where they need to make a move here, it makes, a fair bit of sense. And he is a better scorer than a lot of the options that they have had available. A very good three-point shooter, 14 points per game, 8 rebounds, and a good defender. Now, there is the argument that, comparing him to Rui Hachimura, is there that much of a difference? Of course, Rui is probably the better shooter. PJ is absolutely the better defender and the better rebounder. And when you look at the lineup now, again, without Marcus Smart in it here, you don't have a ton of bench depth. Or, in a scenario like I've been mentioning over the past few videos, that you do make a move for a guy, again, they waive Shake Milton, where you do make a move for a guy like PJ Washington, you would then be probably either moving Austin Reeves to the bench or moving some things around there to, of course, have a better defensive-minded starting lineup. And I'm curious to see what you guys think about it, because he's an interesting player. He's been very solid in his time in Dallas, and he's a 3-and-D guy in Dallas especially, and has turned into a very serviceable to above-average defender. And you can see a block and a steal a game. He's a very solid rebounder, which could actually help, because yes, they got help with DeAndre Ayton in the rebounding department, but always nice to have rebounders. And we saw it last season when it hurt them a little bit. It's confirmed as we have multiple massive Lakers updates to go over today as a new report has dropped revealing some bombshell information surrounding the Lakers and their future. We're going to break that down as well as discuss Rob Pelinka revealing the truth behind the Marcus Smart signing and more. A ton to go over today, folks. But before we get into it all, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support has truly been unbelievable. You've been an absolute beast with the support. So make sure to continue supporting by hitting that subscribe button. Thank you guys again for your support over here. It means the world to me. Now, folks, a lot to go over today. And obviously, the Lakers are in a unique spot. There are still trades to be made. A lot of new reports, rumors are starting to fly surrounding those trades. But most importantly, the Lakers have made a signing official today in the form of Marcus Smart. But within this Marcus Smart signing that became official today, we got some tidbits from Marcus Smart himself speaking out on joining the Lakers. But most importantly, surrounding Luka Doncic and his future in LA. And let's just start with one of the big reports here. There's a lot to go over. You're going to want to stay tuned until the end of the video. But it's Ramona Shelburne on the Lakers. Their summer league's incomplete until we know if Luka extends. The Lakers have plans to visit him in Slovenia. They're going to Eurobasket. He has spent time with Jeannie Buss. This is not a player that's looking like I'm going to leave as a free agent next year. And folks, it is confirmed now. The Lakers are doing everything they can. I think for the first time, we can feel comfortable as a team and as fans of the team that Luka Doncic is going to remain in LA, which means bigger moves are going to be on the horizon, as well here for this team. Now, there's a bunch of different things to go over here, and I want to kind of dive right into some of the comments from, of course, Marcus Smart himself, because they're very intriguing. And let's start with this one here. So Smart on the chance to win in LA. It's at the top, the main goal, the reason you go out and compete the way you compete is to try and win championships. What's a better place to do that than here, where the show starts and the show ends? Being able to get back on the stage to a team that can definitely use it, and I know I can make an impact here as well. That was a perfect fit here. And obviously, you love to see that from, a guy who recently joined, the Lakers, technically officially today. They, of course, got rid of Jordan Goodwin. They got rid of Shake Milton in order to open that up. However, you're at a point now where it's a very, unique team, because obviously Marcus Smart's going to push him over the top. But he didn't only say this. He said a couple of other things as well. And Rob Pelinka, which we'll dive into in a minute here, he said, Marcus Smart talked about Luka Doncic's efforts to recruit him to LA. And he said prior to this summer, they didn't have a relationship beyond mutual respect as competitors. It was always flowers. And within the interview, he went on to say, basically a bunch of stuff, and then to join something special that he's trying to cook up over here. I think that Luka Doncic extension will be coming eventually. So folks, the Luka Doncic extension not only seems imminent at this point, but it's confirmed that he has been recruiting Marcus Smart. He's been recruiting other players as well, and he's clearly working extremely close with Rob Pelinka in order to get this done. And I'm more excited to see what he has, planned his recruiting mind for him, both, next year's free agency, the trade deadline, even the rest of this offseason, because trades can still happen, of course, and the Lakers have all of their assets remaining. They haven't gotten rid of a single asset yet this summer in exchange for any players. They were able to, wonderfully, of course, keep all their guys through the luck of the buyout, whatever you want to say. And essentially, you pair that with the report from Ramona Shelburne saying that all signs are pointing to Luka signing an extension. It's all but confirmed at this point that he's going to be returning to LA, which is huge. And I think it's big for reasons that we're seeing right here with Marcus Smart. Like, if he wasn't fully committed to this team, you wouldn't expect him to go out and continue to recruit guys, talk about something special that is building in LA and all these different things. It is a very positive sign. It's also positive. It's what I alluded to earlier. Smart wanting to win a championship. And he also spoke about knowing how he was going to get booed, all these different things. I'm excited to have Smart on this team. Whether he's going to start, whether he's going to play off the bench, it really doesn't matter to me. I would obviously probably prefer him starting and then Austin Reeves maybe moving to the bench. Hot take. I know, I'm curious to see what you guys always think about it. I ask, every video. But it's a good sign that Luka is going to be extending in LA, and all signs point to that at this point, because at the end of the day, that's what matters most with this team is the future of Luka Doncic, and to see him recruiting other players for Rob Pelinka, that's what matters the most. And speaking of Rob, there's some big news to go over today, as the Los Angeles Lakers had just made a surprising move as Jordan Goodwin has officially been let go, and what's come in a flurry of moves over the past few days. A big domino has fallen surrounding the guard. We're going to break down exactly what this means, discuss, most importantly, the implications this has going forward, as well as a few other updates on this episode, folks. Before we get into it all, if you're a part of the percentage or aren't subscribed to the channel, quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. You guys have been an absolute beast of the support. So thank you guys for that. Hunter, this came in not necessarily a surprise in the sense that we didn't see this coming, but a surprise compared to where the sentiment was just a few weeks ago with this team, with Jordan Goodwin. And now, just a couple weeks later, he is no longer going to be on the team. And it just dropped literally a minute ago. So let's dive right into it here. From Shams directly, the Los Angeles Lakers have waived guard Jordan Goodwin. Sources tell ESPN. Goodwin emerged as a key rotation piece for J.J. Redick last year. Played 29 games. Of course, got converted to the NBA. All these different things happened. J.J. was a big fan of Jordan Goodwin. And now fans are pretty upset with this move. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are and everybody in the comments section. But clearly, and we'll dive into how this kind of came from, Goodwin's gone, Shake Milton's gone, and this is, of course, all in the effort to make room for Marcus Smart.
Yeah, and you say a few weeks ago we didn't see his comment. Did we see it coming a few days ago? I mean, This was, Marcus Smart gets bought out by the Wizards, becomes available. There's multiple teams looking at him. The Suns and Bucks were two teams that were also in the running for Marcus Smart. He decides he wants to come here to Los Angeles to play next season. And as a result, the Lakers cannot access the biannual exception unless they shedded some salary. So today was the deadline to make a decision on Shake Milton. To no surprise, the Lakers decided to waive him, but that was not enough. They still needed a couple million more dollars, and the easiest way to do it was to cut Jordan Goodwin, and that is what the Lakers ultimately decided to do. Obviously, Goodwin was a really good feel-good story for the Lakers last year. He was converted from a two-way contract to a full-time salary with the Lakers. They decided to opt into his team option and to keep him around for next season. However, of course, plans change. Marcus Smart comes in here. Might have also limited Jordan Goodwin's minutes as well, as he's going to be taking on, more of that, the responsibilities being that defensive-minded guard that, comes off the bench most likely and, is going to be that point of attack defender for the Los Angeles Lakers. So obviously it sucks because Jordan Goodwin, I like rewarding guys who have done a great job, and Jordan Goodwin 100% earned his keep here with the Lakers this past season. But unfortunately, when you're making these types of transactions, Lakers are acquiring more guys than they're letting go, which is a good problem to have. As a result, someone's going to be at the short end of the totem pole. And in this situation, was Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah, and obviously, feel-good story last year, was a very good defender, had some really good games. Look at his stats. The Lakers finished with 5 points a game, 4 rebounds, and was always kind of that guy who gave effort defensively, gave effort on the glass. But you mentioned a very good point. And again, this needs to be updated because, Bobby Mark, shout out to him, he does these. This will get updated probably tomorrow with Smart and Goodwin. But
so.
It goes to show how fast things have changed in the last 24 hours. And that's why I wanted to use this one as compared to the ESPN one, because we look how the team looked literally 2 days ago. This is how it looked right here. You had Jordan Goodwin as the reserve, and you didn't have Marcus Smart. Now you add Marcus Smart in here. 2 of the reserves, your bench pieces, are gone now. Jordan Goodwin, Shake Milton. And quite frankly, the bench isn't looking that deep right now. You have Gabe Vincent, you have Jake LaRavia, Maxi Kleber, I guess, and of course Jackson Hayes, your backup center. Other than that, is there a world where, Marcus Smart's going to come off the bench? Probably. A lot of fans are pushing to put Marcus Smart in the starting lineup, but for surrounding Jordan Goodwin, he was factoring into, and I assume in JJ Redick's mind prior to the Smart signing, he was going to be the, 7th, 8th man off the bench. It's not that deep of a team right now. Maybe you put Gabe Vincent ahead of him and it pushes him down.